LI RR trains and Sunrise Highway traffic zipping by, nothing about Bigelow's Rockville Center location screams New England or seafood. But step inside this charming, nautically themed throwback, and it's easy to feel as though you've been transported to a quaint New England seaside shack.
I come from Staten Island on business out here every 2 or 3 weeks, and I always make it a point to come.
I'm from New England, and these clams and this chowder is better than what's happening up in New England.
We'll get to clams and chowder in just a moment, but first, a history lesson. Bigelow is Russ Bigelow, the original owner, who came to Rockville Center from Ipswich, Massachusetts in 1939.
He opened up a little clam shack that started out, as just basically a little room with an overhang and a window, just a takeout window.
Mr. Bigelow expanded the restaurant in the 1950s to the size it is today, adding this U-shaped lunch counter and its 22 communal seats.
Cheese, lettuce, tomato.
About the only thing that's changed over the years is ownership. The Andreolis family is just the third family to run the joint, taking over more than 20 years ago. And though brothers Christo, Anthony, and William have expanded the menu, Bigelow's iconic dishes, the ones that have received countless accolades, are still being made with the same original recipes handed down from Mr. Bigelow himself, including, of course, the clams that bear Mr. Bigelow's hometown's name, fried Ipswich clams.
So you got the Ipswich clams.
Ipswich clams, great, the best.
Can you say Ipswich 5 times fast?
Maybe. Ipswich, that was close on that.
So what constitutes an Ipswich clam? Besides being originally discovered in Ipswich, Mass, and sourced from New England, as Bigelow's has been doing from the same shellfish supplier since it opened, these clams have a little something extra those found off of Long Island's shores don't.
They're a whole belly clam with the meat out of the shell, and then versus the other ones which are most common around here are the clam strips. Those are a sea clam. It's a different type of clam. And what those do, you can't eat the belly on those. They have sand in them from the ocean. And you'll cut off the belly, take the clam, cut it into strips.
So while most on the island are used to eating clam strips, here,
You gotta go with the belly, don't you?
Is that a personally directed comment?
You're getting a totally different flavor. The Ipswich is more of a oyster flavor. It has a whole belly to it. And the meat of the
Fattier?
clam, yeah, definitely a fattier taste, a more briny taste to it, You're getting a very rich clam flavor. Whereas the clam strips, it's more of a sweet taste to it.
and how do you get your Ipswich clams at Bigelow's? Deep fried.
When we do it, we make everything to order, so nothing's pre-breaded, pre-cooked. When you order it, that's when we make it. All right, so basically we just grab clams. The Ipswich clams are from up north, so we get them from basically off Mass, Maine, and come right off of there. It's just like an order of clams, put it on milk wash, strain it out a little bit, right into the flour. And it's this technique to breading it. A lot of people think that we're just playing with the flour here, but you got to kind of separate the clams individually as you bread them. It's get nice and fluffy. Put them right in. Shake it out nice and easy. What we got there?
Shake it like a Polaroid picture.
Yeah. And we got ready to roll.
From there, the Ipswich clams go into the deep fryer for a couple of minutes. The clams are fried in a trans-fat-free, cholesterol-free soybean oil, which is changed daily. This isn't your run-of-the-mill fried fish.
It's a natural flavor that comes out. The flour is just that coats it for us. It's one of the best breadings that you have. It's not oily, it's light. And it just
looks beautiful.
Yeah, but it just brings the natural flavor of the clam out.
And since it's lunchtime, I ordered my Ipswich clams burger style, served on a fresh bun with a side of Bigelow's famous hand-cut fries. No salt added and towel dried, just as Mr. Bigelow did decades earlier.
I've never eaten anything with belly in it and didn't like it. Belly makes everything better.
But before I could take a bite out of the Ipswich clam burger, I had to try this famous belly on its own.
Get in my belly. Wow. You weren't kidding.
Yep.
That was like a flavor explosion.
Yep. People crave.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's dynamite.
Thank you, thank you.
Now that is the belly of the beast.
Yes.
Get that nice, what you call that, kind of greenish, blackish, almost
Belly.
briny.
That's the belly of the clam. Yeah.
So you're eating what the clam ate.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
This clam ate
The more
well.
the water, the better. The clams, you know.
The clam ate really well.
Ipswich clams aren't the only seafood treat that can be found coming out of the deep fryers.
Oh, the clam strips are my favorite.
So what you got there?
Fried oysters and onion rings.
There's also a hearty shrimp burger, fried in the same fashion as the Ipswich clams, and everything else on the menu.
I've never had fried seafood that was dry and perfectly cooked. I mean, usually you get, grease-laden, soggy breading. Everything is done here with a very fine hand.
And what would a New England seafood shack be without New England clam chowder, which the Andreolis brothers make in small batches every 3 to 4 hours to guarantee freshness. And if you think there's a secret ingredient involved in the making of this particular chowder,
I can't show you this. This is a secret. Get out of here.
well, you'd be right.
The New Englanders will probably go through about 15 to 20 gallons of soup a day.
That's a good amount.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
The crackers in the chowder. Oh, look at this consistency. Nice and thick. Oh, wow. It's got a little bit of a sweetness. It's just a smooth, like velvety texture. This is heaven in a bowl. That is hands down the best New England clam chowder I have ever had in my entire life.
With an assortment of fried fish on buns, New England and Manhattan clam chowders, as well as a seafood bisque with crab, shrimp, and bay scallops, lunch options are endless at Bigelow's.
Great stuff. Great quick food. Fresh.
So I guess people don't have to go to New England
No.
to get that New England seafood feel.
Yeah, and especially with the gas prices being so high, you save a lot of gas money.
You
Driving
can
up
spend
there.
in here.
Yeah. That's it.
Trust me, it would be money well spent.